All right, everybody, welcome to Brown and Browner. We're at late June, and there's all sorts of stuff going on in this country, especially the World Cup, obviously. But we've got the end of get a little bit of golf action from the U.S. Open, obviously. We got Wimbledon coming up. Technically, the baseball All-Star game. We'll touch on that a little bit. And we're a month away from football. Let's put it that way.
That's right. Soon we'll be back into the NFL. That's our favorite sport.
Yep.
And when I say our, I'm going to say America.
America.
Of us.
Yes.
One thing I do want to say, I do like the fact that we're finally holding a world event that is truly a world event.
Yes.
We call it the World Series. And all of our championships are worldly.
Yep.
But this is truly a world event.
Big time.
I'd have to say like the World Baseball Classic, where we're actually playing country against country, sort of matches up too. But I like seeing this because you have all countries coming in, and there have been some darlings of this tournament that people have liked. Did South Africa actually make it to the elimination round?
Yes, this was Mandela's dream, if you think about it. Shoot. And he did this with rugby way back in the day when the Rugby World Cup was being held in South Africa. And he made a promise to the people of making a champion, or at least something for the South Africans to believe in. And boy, that was a hell of a game yesterday that they pulled off against South Korea. Because honestly, South Korea, in my opinion, was favored probably walking into that match. And to see Bafana make it through, that tells you the progress they've made.
That's what I was going to say. Bafana, baby.
Yeah. Since the time of when they hosted in 2010 till now, they've made some huge progress. And let me tell you, it's awesome to see them make the elimination round.
And I love that. And you mentioned that about when they hosted, they didn't even make it out. And that's sort of rare for a host, isn't it?
It is.
And the fact that they were able to make it this time, their coach spoke about this. It's been 5 years. He said, I spent 5 years and talk about the transformation of where they were and to where they are today. You could actually cheer. You could see that they were playing the kind of game that was worldly and worth watching, as opposed to someone just kicking a ball around. Yeah. South Africa, happy for you. Glad to see you guys doing it. And the surprising thing was, who did they beat?
South Korea.
They beat South Korea.
Yeah.
Who initially people thought were going to easily be in the elimination.
About one of the 2 or 3 best teams in all of Asia coming out, and frankly, they took it to them. It was impressive to watch, impressive to see them pull it off, and the fact that they won, honestly, a tough group in my opinion. Czechoslovakia usually plays a lot better than they did.
Yeah, they were underwhelming.
Mexico's on fire. We'll talk about a little bit of that in a second. But I mean, the fact that they made it out as the 2 seed is impressive.
Yeah, there were some other games. I was sort of rooting for Haiti because I saw the odds.
I saw them come up.
They were winning for a second.
They made first strike, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Here it comes, and then it was like, 1-1, 2-2, and then that was it.
And that goes back to what you just said. This being a global game. See, I love seeing the underdog in this situation.
Me too.
I love seeing, especially from when you look at the countries, the backgrounds, the lack of resources sometimes, and all that, and you see them come up against the big powerhouses of soccer and everything else that's there, even developed countries. It's just cool to see that on a board. It's like a risk board when you're playing on a game board,
And that one guy with the one piece is surviving.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So to that point, I mean, it's awesome to see. But Group A settled now. Mexico obviously on fire at this point. They're striking on all cylinders. I thought for a minute that game was going to stay close, and then the second half they just blew the doors open on Czech, basically.
They're looking tough. There are only a couple of teams who have not led up any goals. I think Argentina being one of them.
What'll be interesting is I think Mexico's riding the home field advantage at this point. Not only in Mexico, but they're playing California for their first round of 32, and they're going to have a home following there too, obviously. So it's going to be impressive to see what kind of run this Mexico team makes, especially who they match up with. I haven't looked yet that far into the round of 32 yet in the bracket, but I probably could. But regardless of who they're playing, I give them a fighting chance against the best in the country or best in the world right now, even France at this point.
I would agree with that. I think home field advantage means a lot.
Yes.
Ask Greece back when they had it.
Yep. Exactly.
Also, I give Mexico props for doing this. Their goalie, and I'm trying to remember his name.
Memo Ochoa, baby.
Memo, who was also a criminal in one of the NC or not NCIS's, but CSI's
Yeah,
Miami. Memo was the criminal in that. But love the guy.
Yep.
Great goalie for Mexico. And he got a chance to play in what, his 5th World Cup? Is that right?
Fifth World Cup. And I was waiting for the moment because I remember like I was looking back at rosters like almost a month and a half ago. And I'm like, Mexico's not going to have Memo Ochoa. This is kind of iconic in a minute. And then so all of a sudden you see him as the 3-man on the goal, but I'm like, oh, yes, they're bringing him back.
And for them to let him at least go in there and shine. And they were talking to a couple of the Mexican players, and just to hear how revered he was just, I really enjoyed that. Those are the kind of stories, the side stories within the tournament that you hear about that really just make you feel good right here.
Exactly. No, I love some of the smaller storylines in some of these teams is great, especially the guys that have played for so many years now that are still getting that moment, just that last moment to kind of get their shine in. This was definitely part of that, to say the least. Yep. That said, that's Group A. It's said and done now as of yesterday. And like I said, good luck to Mexico. Good luck to South Africa in the elimination rounds. And I don't know if Korea can sneak in at this point with only 3 points on the board. It's going to be tough. Only eight 3 seeds are going to get in, so it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
Group B starts today. Group B was yesterday. Sorry. Switzerland, Canada. Canada was disappointing.
What was that?
Field, with the home field and everything else. I mean, I expected Switzerland to win this division, but the fact that they struggled, Canada struggled in this group, kind of a wonder. They don't have the firepower. They've beaten the U.S. once, but I mean, that's in CONCACAF play and all that stuff. But frankly, with the home field advantage, I'm disappointed in Canada.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that Canada didn't play better.
Yep.
I give credit to Bosnia. How they played. They'll probably make it as the 3rd seed, right?
Because Bosnia's sitting at the 3rd right now. They're sitting with 4. Yeah, they're sitting with 4 points, so they're ahead of Korea in that group.
Oh yeah, they're ahead of Korea. They lose to Canada on goal differential, right?
Yes, correct. Yep, they lose to Canada on goal differential. Canada's going to be walking in as the 2 seeds, but Switzerland is the 1 coming out of Group B.
Right.
Today we go, also we had Brazil, Morocco, and Scotland and Haiti. Haiti had a chance.
Brazil is Brazil. I'm sorry. You know what? Scotland really needed this game. Yeah. And in the first couple of minutes, they basically, the one guy just kicks the ball right into the defender that deflects right in front of the goal. Easy goal. Game over from there.
Yep. I mean, it was 2 of the coolest fan bases that you could have possibly imagined between Brazil and Scotland.
I give that. That's so true. And the fans in the stadium were going wild. I love the one fan that actually had Brazil like head coloring and Scotland jerseys. It was sort of cool watching all of that.
I'm glad Morocco pulled it out over Haiti. I mean, Haiti had a chance when they were up 1-0, and I'm like, oh my God, what's going on here? But I like Morocco, especially most of the African nations, and I think they're one of those teams that you got to be reckoned with, especially when you're a top seed. But Brazil wins this group, obviously, with 7 points and the tiebreaker over Morocco at this point. Morocco's the 2, and then Scotland only, again, 3 points sitting in the 3rd position. So they're also sitting behind Bosnia at this point.
Yeah, I don't know if Scotland's going to make it based on that.
Hey, their fans are rich enough to carry around the country. That's all I can tell you. Those guys have traveled to every city, drowned it out literally with bar scenes, and taken over the culture, and it's impressive to watch.
Hey, and we were talking a little bit about this before. I'm going to say this about our conversation offline. These guys are out here spending money, having a great time. I don't know. Is that because maybe they don't have to worry about paying tens of thousands of dollars for healthcare and tens of thousands for the right to have healthcare, and then tens of thousands of dollars for education? Yeah, they have a tax system that might tax them a little harder on the front end, but they get the benefits on the back end. Plus, that euro and the pound must be going a long way against the dollar because they're out there spending money. All of those cities that have guests from Europe and other countries. Enjoy the spirit and the fun, and also the extra revenue that's coming through your cities.
There's an interesting little segment. It's online right now. So obviously Scotland went up to Boston, literally emptied a bar, right? Literally drowned it out, ran out of beer. But here's the cool thing. So, Scotland came in. This particular, but there's a couple bars in Boston that did this. They had the American flag, they had the Scottish flag. I think they had the Irish flag because they're all Irish bars. Fine. They noticeably did not put up the English banner at all. And England was playing in Boston the other day. And apparently English fans, they're going to have their little chip on their shoulder against Scotland and whatnot. So they thought they could go in and, drown out the bar, basically, in the same manner that the Scottish fans did. The bar owner in Boston, this is pretty prominent online, The bar owner put up a sign and said, yeah, our workers are on break today, so our bar will be closed. And literally on the outside, he had those 3 flags only: the United States flag, the Irish flag, and the Scottish flag, not the English flag.
Oh, wow.
And it's between that and then what was said during the England game, I believe it was 2 or 3 days ago, the Fox commentator said, yeah, the English have never had really any kind of luck in the state of Massachusetts historically.
One if by land, two if by sea. That's cold. I didn't think about it like that, but okay, I can see that.
They had to throw a little bit of history lesson in there, especially with Independence Day coming up in this country and everywhere else. And It's funny that we have the World Cup. We're going to get to shine on the moment of showcasing supposedly our independence around this country, which is going to be kind of cool. We can eat that up in different ways. But I just find it funny that we can still take to the English anytime we want in that regard.
Hey, I have to give the owner of the bar credit because usually
money,
the dollar and the pursuit of money trumps principles, morals, and all that other stuff in America.
Yeah, let's do simple economics in a bar. It probably takes somewhere north of 40 to 50,000 in a night to drown a bar. Literally, like put it out of commission, take away all of its inventory. That's what these Scottish fans did.
Well, and the English fans were going to do the same thing, or at least try to. So think about being able to do that in 2 days, what you probably can't do in a week at that same bar.
Yep. Scary.
So kudos to the owner for showing his true colors and his pride and sticking it to him a little bit.
English a little bit, that'd be pretty nice.
Yeah.
Let's go on to Group D, and of course, we've got our beloved Americans playing tonight.
Well, and that's today. I'm hopeful that, what I'm really hopeful for, to be honest, is given where they are, sure you want to win your group because you'll get a better seeding against the worst team, right? Because you'll be playing one of the threes,
well,
right?
They're locked for that, interestingly enough. Regardless of the outcome of the Australian-Paraguay game, because of the tiebreaker that the USA has over both Paraguay and Australia now, they're guaranteed.
Oh, right, because they beat them. Yeah, that's
there's a question now, basically, of A, do you continue to rest Pulisic? So that's the one question.
That was exactly what I was going to say. I'd rather have Pulisic be well-rested and play the next game that's going to count. If this game has no value, why waste it? I almost wanted to say that we were talking about Brazil. They actually put Neymar in
Neymar
when they were up 3-0. And my wife and I were talking about it. She said that was stupid. I sort of get the idea. Why?
Let me see if I can find some logo around here. It's called a swoosh.
Oh, Nike wanted to make sure you had, get their representation in there. I can see that.
They had to get some brand credits because you know what? They're falling sorely behind Adidas right now.
Well, I can see that. I still think, given Neymar's history, plus, if a team's down 3-0, sometimes things get a little chippy.
Yep.
And talk about somebody I'd be chippy with, I'd just kick him just to see how many times he'd roll around. And count it. As a matter of fact, I'd open up an account and say, Neymar's going to roll 15 times. And I'd kick his ass just to see how many times he roll on the ground.
Kick him in the shins. And honestly, did take the risk of the yellow card at that point because I'd try to get him in trouble too at that point, which would be even more fun. And that's the other thing to the U.S. game now. So the U.S. is also probably going to rest players that got a yellow card last game so they don't risk getting the double jeopardy walking into the elimination round. So you may see like a half lineup today.
I've heard that they were going to have significant changes to their lineup today.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be part of it. Like I said, between Pulisic potentially resting completely, and then, of course, I think about roughly at least 4 or 5 players that I know sitting with yellows from the last game. You're pretty much going to see half the lineup probably out or rested today. Strategically, I think, for that reason. Because, obviously, Turkey is completely out. And, yes, it's Turkey or whatever you want to call it, Yippee-ki-yay, But they're already eliminated. So at this point, the U.S. is literally just playing for posture. So, let it be. I didn't even look at what ticket prices probably dropped to after the U.S. finally locked up their position. I'm pretty sure today's ticket's pretty cheap to walk into and watch the U.S. game, though.
Well, and just for the fans out there who may be watching the sport but don't know all of the rules, a partner mentioned the yellow card rule. So when you're in the group stages, or actually just in any game, if you get 2 yellow cards, you get a red card, and that means you're going to be kicked out of the game. During play in the World Cup, during the group stages, if any player gets 2 yellow cards, they must sit the very next game.
Yes.
if you get out of the group stage, it resets to 0 for the elimination stages. So it's important for those teams, America being one of them, to guard their players from the potential of getting 2 yellow cards, because then they won't be available once they get to the elimination stage, and it's win or lose. You lose, you're out. So it's important for managers to really look at how to balance their teams out. And America has a great opportunity now, because it doesn't matter what happens. So we should not play any of the players, including any injured players, because this is an opportunity for everybody to get healthy.
And another explanation for our fans out there, the reason that you're seeing games played at the same time in the same groups, starting yesterday and today and so onward, is to avoid any type of what we would call gamesmanship, if you will. Because everybody's jockeying for position, or
throwing games or managing games.
It's happened. That's the reason this rule is invoked, basically. So that's the reason you're seeing simultaneous games and simultaneous casting of games from the same group at the same time going forward.
And here's the difference. Actually, I'm glad you brought that point up, because you'll see that in some of our sports too, right?
Absolutely.
And here's the difference. The way the soccer game is played, the clock never stops.
Exactly.
So the games actually do align, and you can't, unless you got a TV on the side. It's
impossible to screw it over.
Exactly. Whereas, our sports, because of timeouts and other things, 2 games could start at the same time and finish totally different time frames, and you could easily see what's happening in one game and adjust the other. So I actually like this about soccer, because back in the past, before this rule was in there, you did have some of that happening. You play to
win the game. You play for pride. It stays very clean and simple. That's what I enjoy about it. There's no politics of it, as I like to say.
Or I'm going to do one thing so another team that I like could get in versus the team that I hate.
Here's the drama for Group D today. So only one of these 2 teams will potentially make it out, and it's Australia or Paraguay. Who do you take?
Honestly, I'm taking Paraguay.
I'm taking Paraguay too. I think they're a little bit more solid than what Australia was. Australia didn't have the defense, in my opinion, when they played the U.S., and that's what I'm using as the basis of both teams playing the U.S. Paraguay looks stronger, so that's gonna be a fun matchup to watch, or even maybe even more entertaining than the U.S. game, honestly, because there's 2 teams fighting to get in at this point.
Right. And you're right that whoever loses this may not make it in from a third standpoint.
That's a third seed. Exactly. So that's one piece of the pie. On to Group E. On to the powerhouse Germans, who just continue to score.
But this will be the first time that Germany's made it out of the elimination stage in like a decade or more?
It's been a while.
It's been a couple of World Cups, right? At least 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's been a while since the title run. They came out of what I would call a tough group, relatively speaking, too. Ivory Coast is no joke. They're a good team and they're a solid team. Ecuador is no joke, and they're kind of still in the mix of it. But at the end of the day, Ecuador is done and Curacao are done. So Ivory Coast and Germany are the only teams going to make it out of this group at this point. The real question becomes seeding position at the end of the day. Because if I got to look back again to the round of 32, but I believe the 2 seed in this one would match up with something like a France, which kind of sucks.
Well, and that's the funny thing is you're going to see that with some of the other groups too. Like who's going to play Paraguay? Or I'm sorry, not Paraguay, Portugal.
Yep.
You'd hate to have one of those come out. You win your group and then boom, you're playing this team. Yikes.
Yep, and we'll get to one of the latter groups here. That's more intriguing too in that regard as well. But no, Germany I think is on a good run right now. It'll be interesting to see how they play against the tougher teams going forward. So really for them, it's all about the elimination rounds forward, essentially at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I was happy to see the Ivory Coast do well. Côte d'Ivoire.
Côte d'Ivoire. Yeah.
Exactly. You know what? I'm English.
Yep. I believe I like to credit Mike Keegan-Michael Key for his continued renditions of mispronouncing names. By the way,
I saw you sent me that with his substitute teacher Curry thing.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Although this one, unlike Balake or Aaron, which you used Aaron again, these names are hard to pronounce.
Yeah, exactly. Kailayan and Papa.
Yeah, I give him credit for getting these wrong.
Right? Solid.
D nice.
D nice, yes.
I love it.
That said, Group F, you got the freaky deaky Dutch and their contingent of orange fans. They take over every damn city. Now, they had to open play against Japan, which was interesting. So now they're actually in a tied situation for their standing.
All the way around, just about.
They've got goal differential right now is the only thing factoring for them right now.
Actually, the goal differentials are tied. Netherlands scored 7-4-3 against.
Yeah, you're right. 4-4.
Same
So
with Japan. So
yeah, this is a hot button group then, basically.
And you got Sweden right there. Tunisia, sorry, you shouldn't even be here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and this goes back to the expansion of the World Cup to 48 teams. Now, was it great to see some of these teams make it out on a global stage? Sure, but
not this one.
Yeah, not this one.
No, Tunisia sound like this girl on the south side he used to date.
Yeah, exactly. Just stay south, yeah.
Sorry, Tunisia.
Yeah,
shout out to Tunisia.
Sorry, Felicia. Sorry, Tunisia. Group F's going to be exciting to watch when it comes down to their games because, again, it's going to come down to both wins and goal differential. You got Sweden, Japan, Netherlands all fighting and duking it out at this point. It should be fun to watch.
Yeah, I hope all three of them make it, which I think they
should.
Yeah, because I think all three teams are pretty good.
Provided Sweden gets their win, that puts them at 6 points. And then the other two, regardless of win-loss tie for Netherlands, Japan, are sitting with 4. So they would be the stronger contenders at the 2-3 lines, basically, anyway. So,
yep, agree.
Group G, Mo Salah continues to Mo Salah.
Hey, and first off, I want to give a shout out to my guy Shahir. We were texting during the game. They were looking pretty bad initially, and then I think were they down 1-0?
They were.
Did they get down? Maybe they weren't, but they weren't looking good.
They weren't looking good.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, they don't look good at all." And then boom, Salah comes through, and then they just started the floodgates open. They played well. Love to see Egypt go. Shocked with Belgium.
Yes, very shocked
where they are.
Lukaku and the boys, they aren't their usual selves as they've been in the last couple of World Cups. And I get that Lukaku's getting aged up. A lot of the guys are all aged up, De Bruyne and all these guys, but Iran in second place.
What? Honestly, we talked about underdogs and going for them. Not that I'm, I want everybody to mistake what I'm about to say here as rooting for anything more than from a sporting perspective. Yeah. Not anything else.
Yeah,
I would be okay with watching a team like Belgium take it on the chin, and then Iran being able to advance.
Love to see Iran get in, honestly. Just to have success for their players. I like to keep sport and politics completely separate.
Exactly.
These folks are playing the sport that they love. They're doing great at it. It should be kept separate from any political affiliation. At the end of the day, it's great to see a story like that, especially in the situation that they're in right now.
Yeah, and thank you, Donald Trump, for not going to any of these games.
Exactly. Don't jinx it by going to a U.S. game.
Exactly. Definitely don't go to a U.S. game.
Yeah. But no, this group, again, still kind of in limbo right now. Egypt's obviously leading with 4 points, but you got Iran and Belgium at 2-2, and it's going to come down to goal differential there to see who walks out as a 2 seed as well in that group.
Yep. Hey, the next group we have.
This is the dance.
I have to say that one, I was rooting for Spain, and Spain was my pick to win.
Yep.
They looked a little sluggish the first game, came back the second game, looked pretty good. Yep. But I was actually having a conversation with my wife about the Mike Tyson of soccer. Anybody remember him? you know who I'm talking about. Yeah. Luis Suarez. Remember him?
Yep. And
he was sitting there watching the Uruguay game, and we had to talk about him.
Trying to explain to my daughter. So we're going to this game, fortunately, next week for the round of 32, and Argentina's already a lock to be in it as the 1 seed, winning their group. The loser of Spain-Uruguay is the 2, and that's who we get to see. And I was trying to explain. I was like, "Oh, so who do we get to watch? Do we get to see Lamine Yamal?" I'm like, "Probably not. I'm picking Spain over Uruguay." And I'm thinking, okay, how do I explain Uruguay? Well, I'm going to explain you like this. It's like Pac-Man. The dude eats ears as he tackles people. All right. Now, Luis Suarez was not playing on this squad, by the way. He's sitting up in the stands. But That's what Uruguay is known for at the end of the day. It's eating.
That is what they're known for. They actually have a pretty decent soccer team. Yeah. And honestly, Suarez, besides his antics, was a pretty good soccer player.
He was a great soccer player, and he still is. He still continues to be for Miami with Messi and everything, and yes. Big jerseys and everything. But he's going to be known as that guy that bit some dude's ear at the end of the day.
Well, they had him down in Miami for a minute because they were like, you know what? We need some protection from Messi. Just having him on the field, people are like, you know what? He might bite me if I fuck with Messi. So let me leave him alone.
Exactly. But that said, Spain-Uruguay is the premier matchup, I think, in this group stage right now. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. I think Spain has a little more firepower technically in this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Uruguay pulled off an upset here.
Well, and the funny thing about this is if Uruguay does not, I tried to make it seem like I'm from South America. But if they do not beat Spain, let's say they lose to Spain and Cabo Verde.
Yeah, I want to see Cabo sneak in. I see Mr. Goalkeeper.
You know what? Me too. I would love to see him getting in there. That would be great.
Yep. No, and that's where this one gets very interesting because Cabo could easily ring it up on Saudi Arabia, get their goal differential up, and then all of a sudden leapfrog Uruguay if Uruguay isn't careful against Spain. So this becomes really good television, really good theater on, I believe it's Saturday night for this one.
Hey, it also could happen. Weirder things have occurred.
Yep.
While they've only had one goal, Saudi Arabia, if they pull this game out, could leapfrog and get to second place as well.
Yep. So no, like I said, there's a lot of fun implications here, to say the least, on that one. Group I, it's already over, technically speaking. However, you have the premier matchup of the best shooters in the game right now. You have Mbappe versus Haaland coming up, France and Norway. And the winner gets the 1 seed and the loser gets the 2 seed, basically.
And again, who wants to play either one of these teams as a 2 seed?
Well, I will say this. I think France is deeper on paper because Dembele is now on fire, which is dangerous too, because they got 2 guys that can literally strike the ball from anywhere on the field, which is crazy.
Right.
Haaland has got help, which is good. The guy's a physical freak. I mean,
he is.
6'7" and like,
he's a monster.
Yeah, like if you put this dude in a football uniform, he'd be able to run and truck people on an NFL stage, as far as I'm concerned.
NFL, rugby, you name it.
So this will be a cool matchup. I think France is going to take it over Norway, but man, that's a hell of a marquee matchup. And then Senegal might be one of the stronger 3 seeds if you think about it, but they don't have any points on the board. They've really
lost. I mean, they get to get some points against Iraq, but that's not going to be enough, I don't think. Even though, think about this, they've scored 3 goals, and they have a goal differential of -3.
-3. Yeah, that's how bad it is. Yep, exactly.
You don't see that often, but when you're playing France and Norway, who are 2 of the best teams in the tourney, it's sort of hard to do better than that.
Exactly. So no, great drama in Group I as well, along with Group H that we mentioned with Spain. So that'll be fun. Group J is already over. I mean, the GOAT has already done the GOAT things. That's all you can say.
Well, they won the group.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is the Austria. Now, who's playing? Who are they playing now? Who plays who in this group?
So Argentina's already played Austria and Algeria. So Austria and Algeria play each other now.
So that's going to be the game to watch because whoever wins that game will finish second in that group.
Yep, exactly. So and I'm thinking Austria should win it on paper. They're a stronger team, but the Algerians are showing up. Yeah.
No guarantee.
Exactly. So this one's also for all the marbles and all that. Argentina, I think, honestly, might rest all their players at this point because they can afford to. And they'll do the same thing. They'll get all the guys off the field, rest the players, maybe even rest Messi probably the second half, I'm thinking. Maybe have him play one half of the ball and then call it a day.
Yeah. The only thing they're playing for, and if they're playing Jordan, they can win that game so they could still have their
Messi playing with his right foot at this point. I mean,
well, sometimes as a team, you want one. I want to win every game. Always about that.
Yeah.
So I get that. The other thing is they got the shutout going still. I could see them wanting to preserve that. Which, given that they're playing Jordan, I don't think Jordan is much of a competition. They've scored 2 goals so far this tournament.
If I were being strategic, I would start trying to get Leandro Martinez probably going a little bit. The other offense for the Argentinians, who's doing well. Obviously he's setting up Messi and everything else, but if he gets a little goal scoring action, that gets his confidence going too. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I feel like there have been a couple of instances where maybe guys deferred to Messi and he scored, but they also had opportunities to
They had
score.
opportunities themselves. Yeah, that's scary. Yeah.
So I appreciate that. I think that's something that Ronaldo doesn't have.
Right.
We'll be talking about him shortly as we're moving to Group K.
Yeah, so Group K, Colombia, Portugal, that is another premier matchup coming on this weekend. And frankly, the ticket for that thing is insane. It's $3,000 right now for the cheap seats on Miami. Crazy. It is insane. Crazy. And this is a Miami matchup in Miami. You can only see the fan base. It's gonna be nuts. I was impressed to see Cristiano Ronaldo kind of come out of the mold a little bit last game. What was interesting was that PK, honestly. nice little tactic there. They're playing nice little head games across the board. And frankly, this was a different version of CR7 I saw that wasn't as selfish in this game. So I see a little bit of a counterpoint there where I saw him kind of give the ball up at the right times.
He needs to.
Yeah.
If Portugal is going to go anywhere, Ronaldo needs to put his ego aside and play team ball.
Yes. If he can get Bruno Fernandes and the rest of that crew going, then honestly that makes them a bigger threat on the field. This Colombia team's for real. Simple enough. This ain't like the 1994 Andres Escobar, I'm going to get killed kind of thing. These guys play.
That was just on last night, that 30 for 30.
Yeah. Yep. And then, James Rodriguez now is probably, almost 40 years old, I think. And he had his debut way back in the day. That guy too is another assassin on the field. He will score.
Right. Yes.
So they've got a great team, great defense. I can't wait to see this matchup because I could see Colombia pulling this out, honestly.
I could see Colombia pulling this out. Again, Portugal is another one of those teams that, boy, you sure hate to, play them the next round.
Exactly.
Congo and the other teams, I don't think have a chance, even if Congo beats Uzbekistan or Uzbekistan. I don't know if they can still finish second.
Yeah, I think Congo's always sent with 1 point. So, I mean, they'd have to win and get some help, basically, over Uzbekistan in that respect. And Uzbekistan, another team that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, sorry. Goals against 8.
Yeah, exactly. It's sad. It's truly sad. And some of those, the sad part is I think both in the Portugal game and the Colombian game, there was own goal surrenders. That's what really kills you at the end of the day.
I heard of something, I can't remember what it was, but it was, 12, 13 own goals so far this tournament.
There's been a lot. Well, some of them have been deflections here and there, perfect centers and then off the goalie's hands, off the defender's heel, that kind of thing. But some of these are just blatantly bad. Like, it's just been terrible to watch in that sense and embarrassing for some folks. Yeah,
I mean, you mentioned that whole Escobar thing.
Yeah.
That's just horrible.
Yeah, it's terrible, and hopefully that never happens again. But oh my God, like that's the renderings you get, especially in an elimination game. If that happens, poor guy is going to be hurt, in some fashion.
Yeah, true. So this next group, is probably this one, and we mentioned one earlier.
Yeah,
this is going to be a volatile.
This is now drama. Yeah,
this is great drama.
And thank you, Ghana.
One of these 3 teams could win their division.
Yep.
Most likely, all 3 of these teams will probably advance unless it's Ghana.
Yep.
Because Ghana's only scored 1 goal.
Ghana's only scored 1 goal, but kudos to them for holding England. That was an awesome hold, to say the least.
Yes, agree.
The fact that, their math still befuddles me. The fact that they've given up no goals, which is awesome. You know what I mean? and now they are playing they're playing Panama now. They're playing Croatia. They're playing Croatia head-to-head. Let me rephrase that. Ghana's playing Croatia head-to-head. The winner likely gets the 2. The loser gets the 3, more than likely. England's playing Panama. England should beat Panama, I would think.
Oh, yeah.
If Harry Kane comes out cold again, and who knows what happens. But the fact that Ghana's given up no goals and Croatia's looked a little bit questionable on defense. Luka Modric is now at 40. You can't rely on him to be the goal scorer. They need some more weapons. Good, though. No, he's still a baller. Yeah, still a baller, no question. But this group is full of drama now. Absolutely.
I just don't see Panama pulling it off against England because they've played 2 games so far and they've got 0 goals to show for it.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know if they'll be able to do anything to challenge England. Yep. England will probably end up winning this, and the drama will be whether or not Ghana can hold Croatia to no goals so that they can finish second in the group.
In the group.
Otherwise, they drop down to 3rd, and given their goal differential and everything, I'm not sure if 4 points will get you there, but it probably still will.
Probably still will. Yeah, that's the thing. That said, we will pick back up on the World Cup probably on Monday or Tuesday next week, right before the elimination rounds kick off, and we'll try to give you some picks on that front. As we lead into that, into the drama now of the World Cup that leads in with the elimination rounds. That said, transition a little bit. We've got a couple other topics. One, let's hit it off with golf with the U.S. Open. Wyndham Clark, wire to wire. I mean, that was impressive to watch.
Wire to wire, and he weathered the storm that is the U.S. Open, because the U.S. Open of all the majors is the hardest of the majors.
Yeah.
And I had mentioned that before it started, that Parr could possibly win this. And if you noticed, there wasn't no runaway. People were falling backwards to Parr, not going, moving away from Parr.
Yeah, if you made it under par, you had a successful weekend at this point, because that was a brutal course to say the least. And I think Wyndham Clark benefited a little bit on day one, and that's what was the edge, because he got to play with the less wind in the afternoon as opposed to a morning tee time. And that was a separation factor for me, at least. Yeah,
and I think the other thing that benefited him is he got that time. He built that lead right away. He was able to hold it basically until the last day, right? What was he? How many shots was he won into the last round?
I think it was up 3 or 4. No, he was up 5 walking in, I think. Yeah.
And the person who almost caught him was like 7 strokes behind Sam Burns, who shot a great round.
Yeah.
In the last
Sundays, man. That dude,
Sunday.
Yeah, Burnsy on Sundays is just as dangerous as Scotty Sundays. It's crazy.
Well, speaking of Scotty Sunday, what's up with Skit? So here is something, we were throwing all the accolades to Scheffler, comparing him to some of the other greats who were number one and who seem to be dominant at number one. But this year has been something totally different for Scotty.
He hasn't got that X factor. Yeah, he hasn't had that X factor or that stamp to get over the top this year. And frankly, a lot of the golfers are coming up. I'll give it that much. Like, it's a great competition out there. But Scotty's lacking that X factor, be that alpha dog right now. I mean, he's a top 10 contender every week. That we can't question that whatsoever. But that's happened to guys in the past. Look at what happened like Jordan Spieth when he went on that run of like 3 majors and then just fell off a cliff, basically, that kind of thing.
Well, and David Duval.
Duval's, we've had waves of these guys as they've come, but nobody can do what Tiger did at the end of the day.
But this is a U.S. Open, and the winner won with 4 under. Yep. Scotty finished at even par.
Yeah.
Again, and if you watch his game, like seeing him the last year and a half, like he came out of jail. He was put in jail. Came out and like shot 60 something. The guy was hitting massive drives, hitting greens, hitting putts. I'm not seeing that in this. It's like something happened to him, and I'm not sure what it is mentally, physically, but he is totally a different person.
This isn't like Muhammad Ali coming out of jail. Like, he didn't get that same,
Yeah, remember Muhammad Ali kept saying, I can't get rid of this, because he had that extra fat on his stomach. He's like, I can't get rid of this. Scotty got out of jail. He was like, man, shoot, I'm about to shoot 65. I don't care.
Right. But no, I mean, I'm hoping Scotty flips it a little bit somewhere later in the year, if that's the case. But I mean, he hasn't come out as the alpha killer that he was last year. That's the difference right now. And frankly, like I said, the guys like Wyndham Clark, Sam Burns, and the Morikawas, the Schauffele's, all these guys, they're up in their game a little bit, which is nice to see. But, you still expect that one alpha dog to carry the one torch, and he hasn't done it just yet. British Open's on the horizon. St. Andrews, I believe, is the location, historic. I believe that's a link style course, I think. And that, too, is going to be something that has to play, I would say, more to the favor of guys like Rory, who long ball it and make it up the green. So it'll be interesting to see who wins that one, too, coming up.
The surprising thing here, looks like it says Royal Birkdale.
Sorry, Royal Berkshire. Sorry, I'm thinking St. Andrews. Sorry, yeah.
It's going to be Royal Birkdale for this?
Yeah.
Here's the surprising thing for me. When Nicholas was dominant, when Tiger was dominant, even when David Duval, other, number one players were dominant, they had this air about them. When you played against them heads up and that twosome, a lot of people crumbled just because of the magnitude of the moment, the crowds, the cheering for just that person. It all got to him. I'll give Wyndham Clark credit because the whole time you could hear the crowd was against him.
That kid was getting heckled like you wouldn't believe.
This is the weirdest thing.
Yeah. You would think that you would try to cheer on or support a guy that's trying to win the major. And for him to have the most quote-unquote anti-American crowd, if you will.
I just couldn't even believe that. They were like just heckling the crap out of him and cheering bad shots. And just, it was really bad. And he came through.
Yes.
But here's the part that got me weird. I think he played with Scheffler the first 2 days as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I think they were in the same group or like something like that. Yeah.
It just was unheard of for guys to trump the number one player when they were playing with them.
Hey, credit
he doesn't have that air anymore.
Credit to Wyndham Clark. Yeah, credit to Wyndham Clark. He didn't let that go the moment. And Scotty, while he's obviously one of the best players on the planet, there is no question.
Oh, sure.
He doesn't have that Tiger aura. Tiger aura is a whole different brand in any sport. I mean, it's a Jordan brand. It's it's that kind of aura. It's a Kobe. I think these are the guys.
It's a Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
You're stepping in the ring already scared.
Yep.
That's not happening anymore with Scheffler because it isn't just Wyndham Clark. It was the last 4 or 5 tournaments. He's played with certain players that beat him heads up.
Yep, exactly. So no, that's right. Like I said, it's still a very open year, I would say, for golf, where you've got a lot of guys that can still win a tournament on any given Sunday because Scotty doesn't have that X factor right now, unfortunately.
Agreed.
Yep.
Agree.
Speaking of X factor and name credentials, let's flip the script over to the world of Wimbledon and tennis.
Wimbledon.
And guess who's back in the women's draw?
Hey, you know what? You got that wild card. Yeah. I feel sorry for any top seed that has to play her in the first round. Gosh, that's going to suck.
It's a factor, yeah.
And Venus is playing a grass tournament in England and won with some lady. Yep. And aren't they playing doubles at Wimbledon? Or are they? So
Venus and Serena are playing together, which makes it even more dangerous.
That's what I'm looking for. Well, remember back in the day, those two were dominant in singles and dominant in doubles.
I tell you what I want to see in the women's doubles draw. I would love to see Venus and Serena make their run as long as they're hopefully opposite Towson and her partner. And I would love to see that final.
Agree. 100%.
And not just for the whole racial factor of having 3 black women on a court together, but honestly, you're the best doubles player in the world, Taylor Towson, against the 2 historically doubles, like the double goats.
That's funny because it didn't even occur to me, even though it probably was in the back of my mind, that yes, there are 3 black women going to play for the championship of doubles, which is unheard of. But I was just thinking of it from the American flair, from the historic flair, the passing the torch kind of flair. It would be great to see. Another thing that would be great to see, and I wish this could happen, most likely won't happen, is I'd love to see Serena play Sabalenka in the finals.
Here's what I want to see as a dream scenario. And again, 0.01% of chance of this happening. If Serena makes it to the final, regardless of Sabalenka or not, if Serena can pull off 25 at Wimbledon somehow and overtake Margaret Court just despite it, that would do everything justice. That would do. You know what would be the ultimate X factor? I'll give you the best Vegas gift, the Vegas gift of all that could happen over the next 2 weeks. Serena wins the women's title, gets number 25. Novak wins Wimbledon, gets number 25. That would do it for me. I could retire as a tennis fan knowing that happened.
Although I would have to say, I like that, except
the likelihood of either is very slim, unfortunately. Especially
I don't want Djokovic to win anymore.
Now that my boy Alcaraz is back, I think hopefully for this tournament, I see it as very slim pickings for Mr. Djokovic. But if there's any one surface where Djokovic could have a small advantage over Sinner and or Alcaraz, it might be the grass at this point.
I would love to see Sinner play Alcaraz.
Yep.
And that's most likely going to happen. The sad thing is that's barring injuries or something strange. That's probably going to happen in many tournaments this year.
It's going to happen from now until the next 5 years. I don't think there's any other player that has a candle to those two right now in terms of the younger players that are on the tour right now. And however long Djokovic continues to want to play, he'll still make his runs to the quarters and semis, I think, accordingly. But at the end of the day, it's those two, and that's it. It's Alcaraz and Sinner. And Sinner, like I said, we've had our own criticism here of him, of doping and everything else. And the fact of the matter is now he's proven that, hey, guess what? He's not physically fit either. Well, gee, I wonder why.
Makes you wonder.
Now,
makes you wonder.
Did you hear the doping news this past week from Vondrasova? So Vondrasova is a former Wimbledon winner. She did not want to take drug testing, and that's the reason she got the violation she did. She was banned from the tour for a short period, not longer than the one who actually violated the doping clause. If you look at the thing,
again,
yeah. The mistreatment or the preferential treatment or whatever the other bullshit is in tennis and doping right now is laughable, to say the least.
A rule is a rule is a rule, and it should be applicable to everyone in the exact same way.
Yes.
Cannot be, remember Lance Armstrong?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what Sinner reminds me of. I didn't do it. Okay, I did it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Between that, hell, I'll even go to the football world right now. You see the Sorsby case going on in college where he bet on games and shit like that. Well, guess what? Pete Rose got banned for life. And to me, I will be the number one Rose supporter in the world because of the fact that what the man did on the field will never be matched, ever. And I don't know. And he didn't do it with steroids. He just did it with the freaking bat.
He did it. That's why they called him Charlie Hustle.
Yes.
And the other thing, which I get it for the integrity of the game, but man, if I'm betting on my team to win and we win,
yeah,
I'm sorry. What am I doing that's wrong?
Exactly. 100%.
So you know that my heart's in it. You know that I'm passionate about it because I'm putting my money up where my mouth is, and I'm playing to win.
Yep.
Beats all of the other people that are point shaving and this and that and all this other stuff. Pete Rose is still not in the Hall of Fame.
Sports to me is in a tragic place when it comes to the enforcement of rules, when it comes to both gambling and doping. And it's a joke, literally. It's a joke because of how disparate the rules are being applied at the end of the day. You either stick to one cause and stick to it forever, or you don't. It's as simple as that. Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. Poor man died not knowing that he could get in the Hall of Fame. It's really sad. And frankly, now you got a case with this Texas Tech kid, knowingly bets, claims other things, whatever. Now, hopefully the NFL takes a staunch stance, in my opinion, and ices him out for a little bit, which is what they're doing by not having the supplemental draft, which is nice.
That's what they're doing right now.
Yep. And sports leagues need to get their shit in gear to make things fair for all participants. It's as simple as that.
And I agree with that. And if you're going to have this rule with betting, so what? Okay, well, you're going to take my eligibility in college because I bet.
Yeah.
So now I'm just going to jump to the pros, and I'll still be betting.
Yeah. Well, and I'll give you the other hypocrisy on the other side. You're going to have Roger Goodell come out there and talk about rules and everything else. Of course, the backboard is going to say DraftKings, and
I was just about to say, you know who really matters there. The betting industry is what runs all sports, to be honest.
But unfortunately, true, and that's what's sad about it. What the state is right now. So
yeah.
But that said, as far as Wimbledon goes, I think it's gonna be a great tournament. Starts off next week. Keep an eye on that. But like I said, Serena Williams, here's your story. This is your chance to make some glory. I'm betting more on the double success. I'm hoping her and Venus can finish the career the right way in terms of doubles. Not just maybe even winning it, but at least even getting to the finals would be a huge accomplishment. And then if Serena can go out there and knock off a couple of these top dogs in women's tennis, it'll say, hey, you still haven't caught me yet. That kind of thing.
Right. I mean, again, I'm cheering for the best story here. Yep. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Can Swiatek?
Another doper.
Well, isn't she the defending champion?
She, I believe, is the defending champion. Yes. Yep. Swiatek is the defending champion. Sabalenka is, Sabalenka, if she's in the right headspace, she's great. If she's not, she's not. It's one of those things.
Yeah, she's got all the talent in the world, but between here and here.
Yeah.
Plus, honestly, and we've talked about this, I'm just going to bring this up one more time.
Yeah.
Let's change the rule. Let's go back to the coaches and everybody sit up there somewhere. Don't sit near the player. Don't have the players reaching out to you every point, as if they need counseling or need to have a session with their psychiatrist right there.
Exactly. Yep.
Work your way through adversity. That's what a champion does.
You didn't
That's
see
what
pros
competitors do.
you didn't see pros in the 80s and 90s go crying to their box or whatever the stupid stuff is. I'm sorry, but the guys like Agassi, the Steffi Graf, and everybody else, you fought through adversity, and that's part of sports. You don't
There
see
you go.
you don't see players go crying off to the sideline. My mommy needs to help me on this one, like that kind of crying.
You know, start doing the thing with the kids when the kids really crying. They go,
Yeah, exactly. You don't see Tiger go crying to his caddy or something. I mean, you don't see Jordan go crying to Phil Jackson. No, it's like, give me the damn ball. That's what they said. They said, give me the damn ball and let me play.
Hey, get mad at yourself, break a racket, take a penalty point, and then regroup and play. And don't come out and go to the bathroom for fucking 10 minutes. You ice the player across the net.
That rule pissed me off as a player, and it continues to piss me off in pro sports right now, especially in tennis. It's a joke. That's still allowed. Yeah.
Don't do that. Persevere. Work through adversity.
Yep.
That's what competing and what real champions do.
Yep. Absolutely. Honestly, that covers a good chunk of the sports that are going on right now. There's a heavy slate. Right. Like I said, enjoy the weekend of craziness that's about to happen in terms of World Cup and everything else. And like we were saying earlier, one of the best scenes to go to is a bar right now, because you can watch all of this without having to spend fortunes and crazy dollars, what I like to call Scottish dollars.
Yeah, have fun. Have fun at your local bars, wherever you can find a game. Enjoy sports and enjoy the camaraderie, the fandom, the excitement, the joy, the disappointment.
The best thing I've seen right now is all the experiences all these Europeans and Koreans and everybody's having around this country right now. The Koreans in Mexico was just awesome, wearing sombreros and still cheering on their teams back and forth. The Mexican fans embracing the Korean fans and throwing them in the air, despite the fact he just beat his team. Whatever.
That's what it's supposed to be about. And I love the one thing I saw on TikTok or whatever, the one Japanese player that had the huge, like, Texas steak. It was like a big rib. And he's like, I love the rib. And I was like, oh, I love this. It's awesome.
It's so big.
It's so big. Like a porn star. Boom, this isn't for kids, y'all.
But yeah, no, some of these scenes are just wild. I mean, the guys going to Waffle House at 1 a.m. and everything else. I mean, some of the people getting simplicity is going to Costco and being like, this is the size of my village.
Right. But again, this is what we love about sports. I want to give a shout out to my mom. It's her birthday this weekend. I've been sick last few days. I'm hoping that I'll get better because I have a cruise planned for her. You know what? Get out, enjoy yourself, enjoy the summer-like weather. If it's a little hot for you, figure out a way to deal with it. Get outside, enjoy it. Enjoy sports, enjoy life. You only got one life to live, so live it. Don't just be alive, live.
Yep, absolutely. To that we say, enjoy the World Cup. Yes, sir.
NFL's coming soon, yo.
Yep, absolutely. We'll be back. We'll be back next week with our predictions on round 32 and all the fun highlights between. Catch you guys later.